Hi, I'm 33 female. When I was 23, I got married to my husband. We had been together for 4 years, and since I was pregnant at the moment, we thought getting married would have been the best course of action. His family situation was a bit complicated. His parents were not the best. They were very judgmental and hated that he got me pregnant before marriage. In their eyes, he was seduced by me, and it is not fair at all that he is being forced to marry me. They were opinionated about what type of a person I am, and they did not hesitate to hold back their opinions about me. They said a lot of mean things about me that I would rather not recall, but overall, I did not like his parents at all, especially his mom. And my husband was too non-confrontational to say anything to his parents while they were rude to me. It was overwhelming, but we survived after we moved away. At first, he wanted us to live in his parents' basement, which led to a lot of judgment from their end, as I have said, especially after I started showing. So immediately after I gave birth, we decided to move away. We moved 2 states away from his parents and instead started living near his sister. His sister, who is 6 years older than us, was very happy to hear that we moved. When my husband was not around, she would often drop by and help me out around the house, as being a new mom was an exhausting experience. While we spent every afternoon together, we started getting closer. We talked a lot about things that were on our minds, and that was where I learned about how mother-in-law had treated sister-in-law. Mother-in-law is sexist and very orthodox. So when she gave birth to sister-in-law, she hated that it was a girl. She wanted to get an abortion, and the only reason she went through with the pregnancy was that she was way too far into the pregnancy. Since birth, mother-in-law made sure sister-in-law knew that she was not important enough because she is a daughter and not a son. She wanted another child ASAP, and she kept trying until she was pregnant with my husband. Since the birth of my husband, mother-in-law pushed sister-in-law to the side. She expected sister-in-law to be the bigger person and give everything to my husband because he is the man and would carry forward the bloodline. That caused a lot of envy between the 2 siblings, especially for my sister-in-law, because mother-in-law did not let her go to the prestigious university when she had the chance for the sake of my husband, and now sister-in-law feels that our life is far better than hers because of that. Hearing her say those things really upset me. I felt bad hearing about her struggles. I could see why she felt so worthless and heartbroken and everything. As I came from a more unorthodox family, I suppose somewhere I too made her feel envious because I could do a lot of things that she could not do. When I realized her source of envy, I started to build her self-esteem. She was studying as a graphic designer before mother-in-law stopped her education, so I urged her to start it again. Despite her incomplete education, she was quite talented, so it was nice seeing her start to build up her self-confidence as she started getting appreciated in her field of work. By the end of the first year, she was already working as a freelancer. I told sister-in-law that her success would be the biggest lesson that mother-in-law can ever learn, and sister-in-law seemed down for that. She was finishing her degree, and we both decided that once she graduates, she will go to mother-in-law with me and my husband and show her that she too can be successful even though she is not a boy. It was a pretty good plan. The day before her graduation, while I was packing my bags to go with her, my husband came home. He looked at my packed bags and told me to never come back and that I should stay with the bastard who fathered my child. To say I was confused would be an understatement. I asked him what exactly he's on about, and he showed me screenshots of inappropriate chats between me and someone else. There were pictures of me in the chat, too. I couldn't even remember clicking those pictures. I'm not someone who clicks a lot of nudes owing to my body dysmorphia. I tried to tell him that this was not me, but he could not care any less. He said that sister-in-law had given him these messages, and she said that during all those afternoons she spent with me, she found out about my infidelity and decided that it would be the right call to let my husband know about everything. I was very distraught. I refused the allegations because I was not cheating on him. But my husband did not care. He told me that he does not believe that the child is his and told me to pack my bags and leave ASAP. I called sister-in-law because I thought that she would help me out. She would at least tell my husband that it was a joke. But when she showed up, she was completely a different personality. She smirked and waved me off as my husband grabbed all the bags I had already packed for going with her and shoved me out of the house, baby in my hand. My son was 2.5 years old. I was just 27. It was a terrible situation, but I survived. I made my way to the women's shelter, stayed there a few nights, and then I moved back in with my parents. I signed the papers when my husband sent them, and while my parents found it strange that I was not willing to contest the paternity of the child, I did not care anymore. I knew I had not cheated and I had been loyal. If my ex-husband was that insecure about me cheating, then he should not have married me in the first place because I deserve loyalty and trust. I was a fashion major and I worked my way through the industry, struggling and fighting tooth and nail to balance my career and my child until 3 years ago. I got the opportunity to open my boutique with a few of my close classmates, and it worked out perfectly. I designed the dresses with two of my friends while the other three focused on getting the dresses made. Overall, all six of us made a successful group venture. Now, 6 years after the incident, we have established chain stores over 4 different states, one in each of our hometowns. And coincidentally, one of them happens to be in my sister-in-law's town. My sister-in-law is getting married, and she decided to go to our store to get her dresses done because we are the new hip thing. My friend, who is the head of the store, let me know about her visit. This is where I guess I am petty. All six of us, but mostly me, decided to delay her dress orders as much as possible. 2 days ago, sister-in-law called our store and the call was forwarded to me and she was crying. She was bawling her eyes out, begging to get the dresses as soon as possible because her wedding date is closing in and she has not tried on the dress yet. And she wants her wedding to be perfect. It was a bit satisfying hearing her cry. Does that make me evil? Maybe it does. Update 1. Hey, now don't worry you all. I did send her the dresses. I figured a 10-day delay was pretty good enough. She was not happy about the dresses though, even though we had done the measuring properly and everything from the fabric to the design was what she had picked out herself. She was complaining about how the quality is cheap and she wants us to give her the dress for free. That was when I decided to reveal myself. I asked the caller to be forwarded to me when she asked for a manager, and I told her that maybe she should have considered taking her business somewhere else first before she decided to order dresses from the company whose owner she had scorned just because she could. She recognized my voice and screamed at me, told me that I was being unprofessional, and I told her that it is not a big deal. I told her that if she wants a refund, she can give us back the dresses, but if she chooses to keep them, we won't be paying a single dime for her dresses. She did not return the dresses because of how last minute this entire thing is, so I think I can rest easy knowing that for the rest of her life, she will have to remember that I, her ex-sister-in-law, designed the dresses for her most important day. Update 2. So, since my last update, a few things have happened. Sister-in-law got married and decided to leave a negative review on our platform. Lucky for me, my friends did not hesitate to expose her bridezilla behavior when she came to dress shopping, which in all fairness she was. But that was not the biggest tea. The biggest tea since the last update was my ex-husband reaching out to me. My husband got to learn about the entire thing from my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law got drunk at her bachelorette party and decided to vent to my husband about how I am delaying her dresses while rambling on about the dresses. She let it slip that she intentionally faked those screenshots and conversations because she hated seeing me happy with him. When I was helping her get back on her feet, she felt like I was being condescending, and instead of communicating that to me, she decided to get back at me by doing what she did. Since then, my husband has been feeling incredibly guilty about not trusting me 6 years ago and kicking me out. That is why he wants to meet up with me and maybe work on our marriage. I do not know what I am supposed to do, guys. This was not what I was expecting when I set out to get revenge. Update 3. I met with my ex-husband over a cup of coffee and it was something. He was apologetic and he wanted me back. He said how no one after me made him feel the way I had and he regretted letting me go. While hearing those words made me feel good, I did not want to give him another chance because it was clear to me that his trust and loyalty is quite fragile. I politely refused his wishes and went about my day. Sister-in-law called me again trying to get a partial refund because of the delay, and I told her that she can go to hell because I am not giving her that. If she ends up taking this to social media, I will not hesitate to battle this entire thing out on social media, but I doubt she will. So all in all, I feel pretty good. NTAOP, I cannot imagine an act of pettier revenge than this, LOL. Good on you for being petty. If I was in your place, OP, she would not even get her dresses, so I think you are NTA for even giving the proper dresses to her. Good on you for not taking back the scumbag husband, though. You deserve loyalty and trust, and if he cannot trust you, he does not deserve you. Next story. Last weekend, I went to a casino for one of my old friend's birthdays. It's a weekend thing. We stay Friday night through Sunday morning. So Saturday night, our last night at the casino, I'm down $200 because my friends don't let me stop gambling until they're ready to stop gambling. I just want to lock my wallet in a safe at this point and leave the casino, but we've got this dinner at a fancy restaurant booked, and then reservations at a nightclub VIP thing after. I just got the side salad and water at dinner because I can't afford any of this. Then we go to the nightclub and I just get water again. My friend says, "Why are you getting water here?" I say, "I'm just going to stay on the cheap for the rest of the night because money is tight now." He says, "Hey, don't worry about it." I say, "Really?" And he says again, "Yeah, don't worry about it." I assume this phrase, when said in this context, means I'm buying your next drink. So I order my favorite cocktail, tell the bartender to put it on my friend's tab, and go back to the dance floor. When the end of the night came and we were closing out our tabs, my one drink was on my friend's tab. He told the bartender there was a mistake because he didn't order that. I reminded him that he said he was buying it for me. He said, "I never said that. I just told you not to worry about it. Like, we're on vacation. Life is short. Don't worry about stuff like that." At this point, I'm a little pissed because I would normally never buy that drink at that price given the current situation I'm in. The only reason I didn't get water or soda was because I thought my friend was offering to pay for it. We got into a small argument there in the bar, but I dropped it because it was his birthday. Days later, he's still joking about it in the group chat like, "I can't believe you thought I was buying your drink." And I keep telling him it's a dick move to say what he said without realizing that most people mean that phrase to mean they're paying for it. My friend group is weirdly split. People who knew about it that night seem to side with me, but people who found out later on are siding with my friend and saying I shouldn't be putting drinks on other people's tabs unless I'm 100%. They're okay with that. AITA? Edit. Getting a lot of questions about the "my friends don't let me stop gambling until they're ready to stop gambling" kind. So I thought I'd add on to that part. We were there from Friday night until Sunday morning, and the plan was to play blackjack and games like that most of the time we were there. Within a couple of hours of showing up, I'm up about $100 from when I walked in, and I was content with that because it would have paid for my split of the hotel room. My friends then all started giving me shit for cashing out so early. The comment that got me was from a different friend, was, "Why would you even come on a casino weekend if you're going to stop playing on the first night? What are you even going to do for the next 2 days?" And everyone seemed to agree with that statement, so I went and got more chips to avoid bringing people down at what is supposed to be a celebration. ESH. Honestly, I would have interpreted it 100% how you did. However, I would have waited till my friend was at the bar with me and ordered with him to be sure. The fact that he's making fun of you for it after the fact is a giant move. However, you need to grow up. If you don't have the money to gamble, don't. Tell your friends so if they are rude to you about it, time for new friends. NTA, it was a miscommunication. The gracious thing would have been for your friend to realize this and just pay for it. I'd buy a drink for any of my friends regardless. His talking about it days later shows that he is definitely the AH. Next story. So I will begin by saying that I, female 28, am on the spectrum. I don't really like children, and I definitely do not plan on having any. I own my own house, and I allow my parents to live in my basement. It is a fully developed suite, not a dungeon. I have an office in my home. I keep boxes of brand new Legos in my office. Building the kits helps me relax. Afterwards, I keep the minifigs and I donate the pieces and plans to a woman's shelter so the kids have something to play with. My brother, his wife, and my niece and nephew have come for a visit, and my parents asked me to let them stay with me upstairs so they weren't so crowded. So I said that my brother and sister-in-law could, but that the kids should stay downstairs. My office has shelves that are full of minifigs just lined up doing their own thing. No rhyme or reason to it. I call it controlled chaos. It's the only thing I let be disordered in my living room. My brother knows that I had Lego in my office and asked if his kids could play with it because they were bored. I said no. It would drive me nuts if I went to build a set and any piece was missing. I came home on Sunday from my weekly grocery shop and I noticed that several of my sets were missing, so I called my parents and asked them what happened. They said that my brother had taken a couple of sets for his kids since they are just toys. I was upset both that he had gone into my office but also gone against what I said and taken my things. I usually give my niece and nephew nice gifts when they visit. For their birthdays this year, I gave each one a Switch. So the family was leaving today and my brother was waiting for me to give them a gift. I gave them each the sets of Legos that they had opened and played with. The kids seemed happy. My brother was upset because my mom had already told him that I had gotten them a PS5. I found a bundle on sale and picked it up. I'm keeping it for myself. He asked if there was any other gift, and I said no, that he had already taken their gifts from my office. Now he is upset because his kids didn't get something that I had purchased for them. He said that I'm punishing them for him, taking my toys for them to play with, and that I'm a cheap and spiteful bitch. I think his kids got a couple of $100 worth of toys, and that's a pretty good gift, especially since he basically stole them. NTA, your response in this situation was totally fair. A gift isn't a gift until it's given, and you were under no obligation to give the PS5. The kids weren't even expecting it and were happy to receive the Legos, so how were they punished exactly? Your brother's sense of entitlement is outstanding. I can't get over the nerve he has to call you cheap and spiteful. You sound incredibly generous. NTA, you did nothing wrong. And it was a good idea to just give the kids the Legos their father stole from you. Legos aren't cheap. Personally, I wouldn't allow your brother into your house again. And tell your parents to stay out of things. They never should have told your brother about the PS5. Holy heck, NTA whatsoever. He stole your Legos. Obviously, he's the AH here, and your parents as well for not stopping him from taking your stuff. Glad you're not buying gifts for them. And to be honest, I'd stop buying gifts for them completely since they clearly see you as a supporter of money, free stuff. Even if it's for the kids. Those are his kids, and he should buy their own toys if he's so worried about it. You set a clear rule and boundary, he ruined it. He gets and deserves consequences for violating them. Hopefully, he admits his mistake and learns his lesson, but the way he's acting and doubling down seems like he still feels entitled to your stuff and money. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.